Thanks,
Hello,
and welcome to Wake Up Missoula. I'm your host, Scott Ramp.
And I'm also your host, Noelle McAvoy. And
we have
good
a
morning.
lot of stuff going on today.
We do.
We
There's
have
a lot of stuff going on
Devin
this
Carpenter.
weekend.
We have Eric and
Tom.
They're all talking about Big Sky Pride.
Yeah.
It's the last day to talk on our show about Big Sky Pride. I guess we've been devoting a bunch of our shows to the Big Sky Pride.
Yeah, it's important.
Month. Yeah.
It's a good community. Yeah.
And they're talking about an event tonight, and of course the big, huge parade that's happening tomorrow.
Yes.
I have some city council
The
report
street
to
rally.
do as well, which consists of what the city of Missoula will do in the event of an appeal for the water trial.
Yes.
With a Carlisle group, and the lawyers try to appeal. And also I have another piece where they talk about an ordinance involving elephants training, like animals in the shrine circus, about cruelty to animals and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're talking about the ordinance right now, and it gets pretty heated. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Yes. But right now, I got some weather to talk about, because you can expect it to be fairly windy with some isolated sprinkles tonight as well.
Isolated sprinkles?
Sprinkles.
What are those, rainbow sprinkles?
Like
isolated rainbow
little
sprinkles.
jimmies.
It's Pride Weekend. They're rainbow sprinkles.
Rainbow sprinkles? It could be whatever sprinkles you want it to be.
Mm-mm.
But okay, so it's going to be mostly cloudy. It is mostly cloudy right now with 55 degrees outside. It rained last night, as you can tell.
Yes.
Tonight it's going to be breezy. Saturday you can expect the high to be in the 77 degrees out, so it should be a nice day for Pride.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be nice and warm this weekend.
Yeah, but not too warm.
No,
so
just the perfect temperature.
It's the perfect temperature.
The perfect
That's what they say.
temperature.
That's what they say.
That's what they claim. But we'll see.
But of course, if you're interested in being on our show or learning more about Wake Up Missoula, you can log on to our website, www.wakeupmissoula.wix.com/wakeupmissoula. We have a wonderful Facebook and a Twitter page. And of course, our channel, Missoula Community Access Television, has their own Twitter page where you can keep up with all sorts of wonderful programming that's happening on MCAT, and interviews and such great stuff that are coming up. And also MCAT and like us on our Facebook page as well. And of course, for our general, like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook,
yes.
everyone.
If you log on to MCAT.org, you'll see that little flash, and it'll ask you to like us on Facebook.
And you can if you want.
And of course, Sam was talking to me the other day, and he was he thinks it's really annoying when a website, when you log on to a website, and then they pop up a little thing that says subscribe now.
Oh, I hate it. Yeah, it's very annoying. Yep.
It's just one motion of click. You just go click, and then you don't have to worry about it again. And people are like, I don't want to click. I'm lazy. But,
too lazy.
Yeah, but I'm pretty
Shorter
short.
attention spans.
Oh, well, I'm just saying that there's not much to talk about. We can probably bring out our first guest.
Oh, well, I do have something really funny to talk about, though.
Oh.
So, yesterday I read in The Independent. I don't know if you guys, in The Independent they have In Other News. Mm-hmm. And so there's this In Other News where it says that Canadians have a shorter attention span than goldfish. According to a study, Canadians have 8-second attention span, and goldfish have 9. I know. I don't know what study this is, but I thought that was very, very funny. It's because of electronics, the digital technology. I thought that was very funny. Yeah. Very funny, yeah. But that's about it. I just thought it was hilarious. But yes, we will bring out our guests. We'll be right back with the guys from Big Sky Pride.
So many that I can't keep track. And during these camps, we've had groups making movies all day long. It's a really great thing. And you can sign your child up today. The thing is, MCAT camps are amazing and fun, and everyone loves them. So, if you're thinking of camps to put your child in this summer to get them away from you, choose MCAT. Because we know what we're doing, I think. And everything is just spectacular. Here I am, cat. Here I am, cat. Everything is cool. Here I am, cat.
We have Eric, Tom, and Devin.
Yeah.
And they're here to talk about Big Sky Pride, which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be insane. It's going to be loud. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be on Main Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's start out with events for the weekend. What's going on?
Well, actually, today we have all kinds of stuff going on. So the Western Montana Community Center is going to be open all day today for people to come in and say hi, pick up some T-shirts. We also have a program that we are handing out for everybody to kind of outline where stuff is at and where it's located. And they're going to be open from 10 till about 8 today. And then a little bit later this afternoon, we're going to actually be doing the Montana calendar release and that's actually at Terry Sear Photography studio.
Nice.
So, and that's actually the details for that are on the website. So go there if you'd like to check out where it's at and all that stuff.
Yeah, I've seen some of the pictures from the calendar. Some of them are
They're awesome.
They're awesome, but
Yeah.
they're also really funny too.
Yeah.
Like some of them are like, overdone. It's like, hey.
Yeah, exactly. Glamour shots.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And then, so what are some of the other events going on that like aren't party events? 'Cause I know you guys have got some hikes.
Yeah, so tomorrow morning there's a couple different things going on for those who want to get a little exercise. There's a hike up the M Trail, so for maybe some people, whether you're from town or coming into town to visit, to hike up and get a nice view of the valley. There's also a tennis clinic going on tomorrow morning. There's a breakfast at the Catalyst Cafe, one of our sponsors, if you want to go grab breakfast there. I think that's all that's coming to mind at the moment. There's a full list of them online, though.
There's also a series of workshops, a couple of them that are being put
Yeah.
on at the center on Saturday in the afternoon, that you can find a listing of those on the webpage also.
Yep, there's a workshop on asexuality as well as a workshop for allies, parents and friends, and things like that.
Nice. And then, so what's the website?
BigSkyPride.com.
So, you're one of the spearheads when it comes to Big Sky Pride as well.
Yeah.
So, how did you come about getting Pride to come to Missoula, or who is the main guy behind it?
Well, the previous incarnation of Pride kind of dissolved due to legal issues and nonprofit status, and so Kevin Ham and I picked up the reins last year, and we needed to put on some kind of Pride celebration for the state of Montana, and so we put it on in Butte, and then Missoula has always been the next step because it's made the rounds of the state of Montana for the last 12 years, and it's been 2 years in each location, and so it was time to bring it back to Missoula, and the people here were eager to do it, and so we said, let's bring it, let's do it, so that's where it came from.
So, what can people expect to see in the parade? That's something I've always been wondering about. What can we see?
Well, actually, you're going to see a lot. There's going to be some lots of colorful flags, lots of happy people, people on bikes. I know we have something like 10 or 12 floats. Let's see, what else? People
There's-
chanting.
Yeah, we have a contingent of ladies that come from Bozeman called Chicks with Sticks, and they're a bucket brigade, so they play plastic buckets as drums, and they are always extremely entertaining. And I guess the unique part about Montana's Pride is that in most states they have just specific people that are able to march in the parade. In Montana, we encourage everybody who wants to, whether you're an ally, you're gay, straight, doesn't matter. Everybody's invited to participate, and so we hope to have usually more people in the parade than we have watching, and that's usually the way that it goes. And if that's the way that it happens, that's just as good as if we've got tons of people lining the streets, because it's more a celebration for us, just being a part of community, and that one opportunity for Montana's gay community to join together once a year and just feel at home together. So it's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
I know.
To end the thing on. It's like,
It
where
really
can
is.
people find more information about Big Sky Pride and all the events that are happening?
Well, actually, go online to BigSkyPride.com, and we have a full listing of all of our events there on the events page. And actually, you can also check out all of our sponsors. We could have not done that without our sponsors. They definitely helped us out a lot doing that. So.
Awesome. Can you list off some of your sponsors?
Yeah, so Montana Pro Audio is taking care of all the sound on the stage. Tom Russell with Fidelity Realty, DirecTV, The Catalyst, some of our smaller sponsors, Mellow Mood, Poteet Construction. There is, just a whole bunch of
We're having a party hosted at the Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
We have a party we're going to be holding on Sunday, actually, at
Tamarack, Monks, Badlander, The Palace, Stage 112.
And then we've got the drag show on Main Street, right?
Yeah. Well, so tonight there's actually kind of our kickoff party is going to be at Stage 112. And the Caravan of Glam, which is kind of a queer variety show from Portland that was on America's Got Talent, is coming in to do a show from 9 to 10:30. It's $15, 18 plus. And if you don't want to go to that or you don't have the $15, there's you can pay $5 and come at 10:30 for a dance party hosted by some local DJs. There's also a House Your Pride happening at the Badlander, which is Chris Moon's monthly that he's doing a special Pride edition for tonight, and that's a free event, 21 plus.
Sweet.
Yeah, and there's also going to be the Ghetto Gypsy running around town, so they're going to be making stops at all the various different places. So definitely hop on there, and they'll take you around to all the places that stuff is happening. So.
Awesome. And then who are the bands that are going to be playing?
Yeah, so tomorrow the parade will go from about 1:30 to 2:30-ish, depending on how big it is, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a rally happening for about an hour. We've got a bunch of different speakers that are going to be talking about a lot of really great things. And then around 3:30 we'll kick off with the Chicks with Sticks. They're actually going to do a performance again. Then we have the Masked Artisans. There's some aerial, flow, acro yoga kind of performance. That'll be pretty neat. And then we have Dry Spell, Local Yokel, and Three-Eared Dog. And then after that will be the drag show.
Sweet. Okay. Awesome. Well, I think that is a good general overview.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, you guys, for
Thank
coming
you.
on. And
Thank
you
you.
for coming so much, Devin. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, everyone, come and join the events, and we'll be right back after this.
Can you spot the person with a brain injury? How about here? Or here. You can't always see a brain injury. There are people all around us with brain injuries. Meet Adeline, who suffered a fractured skull from a sledding accident. This is Glenn, who fell from his work truck. Missy was a victim of a random act of violence. Join Brain Injury Alliance of Montana March 30th for Bold for Brain Strong. For more information and volunteer opportunities, please visit biamt.org.
Hey, we're back, and we're here to talk about wonderful events that are happening besides
Yes.
the Gay Pride.
So besides the Gay Pride that is going on this weekend, there are lots of other things going on this weekend. So if you want to do more of an outdoorsy thing, or you got some kids and you want to go do some kid activities, we've got all that right for you.
All right.
So, starting at 11 a.m. this morning is a rice table at the Children's Museum of Missoula. It's just a sensory rice table that you can play with and put your hands in.
Cool.
Starts at 11 to noon. Frenchtown State Park, they've got Pondering Habitat. And so Montana State Parks and National Wildlife Federation, you can go to are sponsoring this. And so you can go to Frenchtown Pond to learn about the critters and habitats around the pond. Yeah, so it's located on I-90, exit 89. Yeah. There's an art series at the Children's Museum of Missoula starting at 4 p.m. You can learn a bit of basic art skills and art history as well. And this next one, this is called Sevilla's Dance Workshop with Flamenco Montana. This is the colorful dance of Sevilla and Andalusia, which is derived from ancient Guidias Murchegas of Castile.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's this crazy
It
dance.
sounds fancy.
It is, but I've got a video of it for you guys so you can see exactly what it is, because I had no idea. So here's a video, and this is what a workshop that is being taught this weekend.
It's convenient that you're right there. okay.
I know, great. Yeah, that was where I
That
was
was
going
a
to
good,
stop
like,
anyway.
perfect stop.
Yep. Yeah, so that is the dance that is going to be taught at the Rocky Mountain Ballet Theater starting at 5 p.m.
It's like her dress
And-
is the extension of her body.
I know, it's sweet. And I'll show you guys the poster for it too, because it's going to go on all weekend. So, loading. Okay, here's the poster for it. So it goes on Friday, June 19th, 4 to 6. Saturday, 2 to 4, and Sunday, 2 to 4 as well. $15 per 2-hour class, or half an hour castanet class, or an hour and a half dance. For all full 3 days, $35, and it's ages 10 to infinity. So if you can still dance at infinity, you're more than welcome. Yeah, and so that'll be at the Rocky Mountain Ballet Theater, 2704 Brook Street. Contact 396-4007 if you guys want any more information on that. All right, there's an artist demo at the Starving Artist Cafe and Art Gallery. Luke Montrose is going to be giving a demo on his process of painting. He will also be selling shirts, hats, and more of his prints in different sizes. That starts at 6 p.m. this evening. Missoula Public Library has got a cheap date night starting at 7 p.m. This is a free feature film every third Friday of the month starting at 7. It doesn't say what it is, but, you know, it's cheap. Go do it, yeah. There is a Zootown sketch comedy and improv show at the Strensrud Playhouse starting at 7 p.m. this evening. They have pizza and a full bar. They also have a pre-show, Get Up, Stand Up. Doors open at 6:30. Main show is at 7:30. Tickets are available at strensrudplayhouse.com or at the door. E3 Convergence Gallery is having a backyard benefit bash. It's a fundraiser for Love Has Come. And this is a Missoula-based orphan placement nonprofit program. And so they're looking for, they need some donations. So it's $5 suggested donation. They've got 3 hours of music by Willard Peterson and Jesse the Ocelot. Cool. Yeah. And so there'll be beer, live painting, raffle prizes, and it'll be all in the backyard alley of the E3 Convergence Gallery. And so that's what's going on like during the day. And up next, we've got music events for this evening. So there's a Pride Extravaganza at Monk's at 8 p.m. They have got a bunch of live DJs, cheap drinks, and pub-style beer pong and more. So Cadence Miles, Chatterbox, Deadline, and K-Dub will be the DJs for this evening. They have $3 vodka Red Bulls, $1.50 Tito's handmade vodka. Oh, man. Sounds like a hangover right there. So doors at 9, no cover for those 21, but if you're 18, you have to pay $10. That's so expensive.
Yes.
Oh, man. Okay, and then up next, there's Canta Brazil at the Missoula Winery and Event Center starting at 8 p.m. And it's a fabulous evening of Brazilian music and wine. What can get better? So check that out. There is Stranded by Choice with Corporate Defiance, 9 p.m. at the Dark Horse for free. I'll House You is at the Badlander and starting at 9 p.m. for free. Russ Nassett and the Revelators are at the Union Club at 9. Pater is at the Sunrise Saloon at 9:30. Calamity Cubes. Thank you. Calamity Cubes. Aaron Buzzes is at the Real Lounge starting at 10 p.m. I have $5 for that one. And Jameson and the Sword Seeds are at the Top Hat Lounge, also starting at 10 p.m. That is a free show. So that's what's going on a Friday night for tonight. Up next, we're going to switch gears and go over to Asaph's segment. Yeah.
All right. June 19th. It's known as Juneteenth. And in 1865, a General Order Number 3 was given for an emancipation of slaves at that time. And since that time, there's been a lot of struggles in the United States and other countries around the world. Yours truly, Asaph Adonai, born October 26, 1958, and from the time of the emancipation to the time of my birth, when I was a little boy, they actually had the drinking fountains that said colored for African American people and white people at that time. That was in my lifetime. And of course, then eventually we had the Civil Rights Movement. And since that time, they've been working tirelessly to unite not only the black and white people, but all the races around the world. And I think that includes the gay people now and, you know, all the rest of them. And I'm doing a tribute today to the Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal AME Church in South Carolina, because they just had that terrible shooting just last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And that just says that there just has to be more work done from the emancipation. And I want to finally talk about the history of a song called We Shall Overcome. Originally it was a protest song, and it became the anthem of the African American civil rights movement. And it's just such a beautiful melody that's been used over the years. The song was published in September of 1948, and of course Pete Seeger, who I mentioned recently, he's also responsible for being a director and helping launch that song off. So there's not like any awards or anything. I just wanted to just briefly mention the history of that song and give my condolences to the South Carolina community, and hope they can fix that.
Yeah.
And we can show this clip of Joan Baez and her
First
rendition
Lady.
of We Shall Overcome.
Your family, you are so much loved. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. We'll walk hand in hand.
And perhaps one day the cry of that song and the prayers and cries of both white and black people really will happen. And perhaps it'll happen in our lifetime.
Yeah, I hope so.
So I'll leave it at that.
Cool. Thanks, Asaph. Oh, wait, you gotta tell us about your book. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure,
Yeah,
why not?
okay.
So delightful.
Yeah. Okay.
And I have to thank Scott too, because
Yeah.
Scott Ramp helped me with the completion of this book. This is my life story. It's called Supermarket Pianist, and on the back it says, Asaph Adonai, Memoirs of a Pianist's Life of Physical and Emotional Abuse Growing Up, 2 Failed Marriages, A Life of Music, Healing, and Learning How to Forgive. So this book is available at Kindle, and I've been invited to have some book signings in the future. So ladies and gentlemen, get this book, Supermarket Pianist. Cool.
Awesome. Cool, Asaph. I'm super excited for you.
Thank you. It took
And
me
you'll-
2 years
Such a
to
good
write
title.
that.
Yeah, it is a great title.
Well, let me make a quick plug. That title, Supermarket Pianist, it comes from the Patty Creek Market.
Yeah.
I played at that store for 3 years, and so I told the owner, Jim Edwards, I was going to use his store as a title, and when you open it, there's a picture of the Patty Creek Market. So
Nice.
yeah, I think they'll be very happy to know that.
Cool. Very
Sure.
cool, Asaph.
Thank you.
Very cool. Well, we are switching gears now.
Yep.
And switching microphones over to Saturday events.
All sorts of stuff happening on Saturday.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff happening. There's just a lot of stuff going on in general this weekend. So tomorrow we've got the farmers markets. This is farmers market is at the Red X's from 8 to 1. The People's Market is on the corner of Pine Street and Higgins from 9 to 2. And the Clark Fork Market is in Caris Park from 8 to 1. There is a West Pine Creek Day hike out in the Gallatin National Forest starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So it's a moderately difficult 5-mile hike through a spectacular wildflower viewing area. So there'll be about 2.5 miles before entering a burned area in the 2001 Fridley fire. And yeah, and so it's just a day hike, 5 miles. If you are interested to go to that or want to find out more information, you can contact Jeff Copeland at 539-6029. There is a Sierra Club Penn Galley Ridge Day hike to Mount Sentinel tomorrow, starting at 9:30. So it's Penn Galley Ridge Trail. It's a moderate hike up on the trail of Mount Sentinel in Missoula. They'll see a bunch of wildflowers, so bring a macro lens for your camera if you want to.
And
you
of
can-
course, Sierra Club Montana is a advocate for climate change.
Yeah.
For, I guess, climate change awareness and prevention kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I haven't heard too much from Sierra Club in a while. They've been kind of like doing other.
They've been planning.
Doing a
Plotting.
lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think so. It's summer now. I bet they've been plotting on lunch
Plotting
and stuff.
all sorts of stuff. Plotting just sounds
Plotting
like
all.
so bad.
I know, it's a fun word to
Plotting.
use.
They're just plotting.
I'm just plotting.
It's like
You mean you're planning? No,
I'm plotting.
plotting.
All right.
If you want to go into this Sierra Club hike, contact Bob Hopkins at Aardvark, AARDVARK, 1649 at gmail.com. It is Missoula Autism Awareness Day tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. So the University of Montana is just going to be spreading autism awareness. And you can too by getting involved. Just check out their website and their event page at the university, like umt.edu. There's a car show at the Grizzly Peak Independent Retirement Living. It's a 4th annual Father's Day weekend car show. They have a barbecue, music, raffle, and a car show. Yeah. 10 a.m.
Yeah, and MC Mad Hatter is doing the music, and
Nice.
it's like old timey music from over 100-year-old equipment like Edison phonograph.
Oh, that's cool.
And really cool stuff. He's come to MCAT a couple times. He's digitizing a lot of his collection.
Is he? That's really neat. That's really neat. Well, there is a previously appreciated art sale starting at 10 a.m. at the Bedford Building. This is in 223 2nd Street in Hamilton. And this is put on by the Bitterroot Humane Society. Yeah, so from 10 a.m. to 3 in the Bedford Building, you can buy some previously used art. Sounds great. Yeah. There is a Saturday morning fun house at the Roxy Theater starting at 10 a.m. tomorrow. They are featuring classic cartoons, wildlife films, and popcorn for breakfast at the Roxy starting at 10 a.m. There is paper marbling at the Missoula Art Museum. So paper marbling is really, really, really cool, and I have a video to show you guys of it. So paper marbling will be at the Missoula Art Museum starting at 10:30. 10:30 to 12:30 is for teens and adults. $22.50 if you're a member, $25 if you're not a member. And I'm not quite sure what materials they use, but it's really, really cool. And so here is the video of this is how you paper marble. It had some cheesy music, so I muted it.
It just muted, yeah.
Yeah. So you get some.
Oh yeah,
Put
I
some
remember
paint
this.
in. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'm gonna click around just to show you guys the process quicker. So.
So it looks like they're just doing little designs here and there.
Yep. Yeah, and then they just drop paint in.
All right.
Okay. Click kind of further along. And then so they add just other colors in it.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet. I'm not quite sure what material they use, but it stays really well in there.
Looks like it's your generic acrylic paint for sure.
In water, though?
Yeah. Or
Okay.
even basic watercolors.
So then they take their paper, they've done their design, they take their paper and they put it over the design. And it looks like she's able to like take away some film.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, and then she'll pull it off and it's pretty sweet.
Oh.
What?
Well, look at that.
Right?
And that fancy.
Yeah.
And then she does some more stuff.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So that is going on at the Missoula Art Museum starting at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So
Great.
10:30. Yeah, check it out, you guys. That looks really cool. Natural Grocers is having a lecture discussion called "Sitting is the New Smoking." So sitting can be a risk. Like if you sit a lot and don't really move your body is at risk for increased heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and more. So now sitting may just be the new smoking. So we're going to talk about that and compare that ridiculous ridiculous assumption. So check that out if you'd like to hear that. Starting at 11 at Natural Grocers tomorrow. Water Lilies is having a Solstice Mini Fair and Customer Appreciation Day starting at 11 a.m. tomorrow. They're going to have a cookout. They're going to have hot dogs and hamburgers and lots of good sides. They're also going to be having classes, and they're trying to form a new youth group for kids in Missoula, so they're going to be taking some feedback about that. And they're also taking donations for those classes as well. Yeah, and so that is at 11 a.m. tomorrow starting at Water Lilies. And if you guys don't know, on Sunday is the summer solstice. It's the longest day of the year.
Oh.
Yeah. So that should be pretty fun. I was sitting outside last night, and it was finally dark, like last little bits of the...
10:30?
11:30. 11:30. Yeah, it was completely dark. Last little bits of light in the sky was at 11. I was like, oh my gosh, which is cool. I think it's neat. Yeah. There is a bear fair going on at the MPG Ranch starting at 2 p.m. tomorrow. And so this is an informational bear fair. It's going to be including presentations by a bunch of different people in the community that know a lot about bears and know a lot about biology. They're going to have Dr. Chris Servine, who is a USFWS Grizzly Bear Recovery Coordinator. Tim Manley.
That is an awesome name.
MTFWP Grizzly Bear Management Specialist. And Lori Roberts, who's an MTFWP Grizzly Bear Research Biologist. Their topics will include past, present, and future status of grizzlies and the Northern Continental Divide ecosystem, grizzly bear management and conflicts, and population monitoring and trends of grizzlies in the North Continental Divide ecosystem. Yeah, light appetizers will be provided as well as refreshments. Call 754-3137 to RSVP or go to northwestconnections.org or swanecosystemcenter.org. Yeah. Beavertail Hill State Park is having a presentation on native and exotic wildlife by Animal Wonders. It is free. It starts tomorrow at 4 p.m. Beavertail State Park is on, I think it's, do you know what highway it's on? It's pretty close. It's only like 30 minutes from Missoula.
Yeah, it's not too far.
Yeah. But, so this is free and open to the public. So they're going to have 4 p.m. They're going to have a tyke hike for this is children ages 3 to 6 on a guided walk and scavenger hunt through Nature Trail to learn about the natural features of the park. It's only like a half a mile long and flat, and they have prizes. And then 6 p.m. is Animal Wonders. It's a talk featuring live animals for the whole family. Yeah, learn about your favorite species from the experts.
And they have chinchillas. Chinchillas have the softest fur in the animal kingdom.
Do they?
Yeah.
Nice. Have you ever felt a chinchilla?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Chinchillas.
I never wanted a cat after that.
No, chinchillas all the way.
Cats are like, ew. Gross.
Well, that is what's going on this weekend. Yeah, besides Pride stuff. So if you want to find out more, you can check out MissoulaEvents.net. You can check out the Independent, the newspaper, the university website, and make sure you go to BigSkyPride.com to find out more of their events as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we've got some city council.
Wonderful, wonderful city council. I'm going to start off with the Committee of the Whole, which gives you the quick little update of what's going on with this whole water trial thing. We got our water, but there's also what may or may not happen with the appeal process. I just heard this morning on the news that one of the things that that the lawyer that's representing the employees of Mountain Water is getting the employees to try to appeal to another court system, and they're saying that John Engen's not going to keep his word about keeping the employees on there. John Engen's saying it's like, he said, like it's he said. Versus, it's like that's all like it's like no, everyone's going to keep their job. And it's like, oh, you didn't give them a guarantee, and it's like, oh, you really don't have any guarantees with any job ever.
Yeah, seriously, that's how life is.
Blah 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 blah, back and forth. But this is the meeting from Committee of the Whole, and this is we have the whole version of this. To get an update of the status of Missoula's newly owned municipality of the water system. Here's Mayor John Engen with the word.
Almost $3.4 million, but that has gotten us to a preliminary order of condemnation, which is a great piece of business. We announced that on Monday evening. We received that order late Monday afternoon. And as you all know by now, and many of you I'm sure have read the order, it is comprehensive and thoughtful, and we believe generally beyond reproach. That does not mean, however, it won't be appealed, but remember that the appeal process requires that there is something to appeal, and only a court can determine that. But again, our experts believe that we have a good, solid decision on our side.
All right, so that's basically what it's at right now. This is Tasha Jones. She's one of the lawyers that won the case for us as well.
Nice.
And basically this is what she had to say in case there's an appeal and there's more additional costs and like a commissioner phase she was talking about, but I'll let her explain a little more of it.
The court issued the preliminary order of condemnation. It triggered some events pursuant to the statutes. Regardless of whether or not the defendants intend to appeal, the evaluation phase of the case proceeds quickly and right a way pursuant to the statute. Within 30 days.
All right, so of course, I'm just going to kind of skip over because she goes into detail about this, and you can find out more information on there, but I'm just going to go briefly over what it means. And of course, the next movies were Carlisle. We don't know what they're going to do, whether appeal or not, but they have 30 days to decide if the court order that Judge Karen Townsend ordered them to do is fair. So then after that, Missoula has 20 days to decide if they want to accept that little counter, if they want to say, is like, okay, I guess that's fair. You can take this one thing out or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But then, of course, the commissioner phase is if both sides don't agree and they need somebody like third parties. They need a bunch of third parties to work together. So they'd hire a whole new process and all that stuff. Other than that, Carlisle can still appeal, which they have 60 days to do. So they have exactly 60 days to appeal. But of course, they have 30 days to give that counter offer.
So they've got about 90 days then to skirt around.
But they can only appeal if Judge Karen Townsend's order, she's the one that decided if she was at fault for that order. So, that's the thing about persecutions of anything, of any kind. You have to do it without any kind of doubt. So if you're, in the defense and there is some doubt, and you still get convicted, you can appeal.
Okay.
So that's what they were talking about with that. And, of course, that basically concludes with Committee of the Whole. You can watch the whole thing, which is only 13 minutes. They go to a little more detail on that as well. But I think the one thing I want to talk about today is with public safety and health. And one of the focuses was the circus in town called the Shrine Circus. And Shriners have been around forever. Missoula, part of Missoula, and all around have been doing it for 65 years, Shrine Circus. And the emphasis is on bull hooks to train elephants. And basically bull hooks are basically look like fireplace pokers.
Aww.
It looks, the idea is proposed wild and exotic animal ordinance, which will ban any use of these items, any kind of things that would hurt the animal, if they are cruel to elephants or any other animal. But I think it's trying to talk more about towards the elephants and just some background. There's been some issues. People have been going up to the public comments and saying that the circus is coming into town, and I think it promotes cruelty to animals. And some of the parents were just like, I don't know, some of the kids are not. That's just basically some background. And they're trying, and this is an ordinance, a little more organized stuff. So they gave a presentation. This is Brianne Ender and Stacy Gordon. They presented a PowerPoint presentation on the proposed wild and exotic animal ordinance. And this is Stacy Gordon. She gives us some background on what's going on with the circus and what this is about.
As I start off, though, I want to make a couple of comments about these pictures. Mostly I chose these pictures simply because they're recognizable. When we talk about wild and exotic animal shows, often the first thing that comes to mind is circuses. And in Missoula, it's the Shrine Circus. However, that's not the only thing that we're talking about. We're not trying to target just circuses. And in fact, Bree and I started talking about this issue, not even in context with the circus, but after the event at the fair last summer, which there was a wild animal exhibit that ended up being shut down because it was problematic. So I just want to make that clear that we're not, circuses are recognizable, but that's not all we're talking about today.
All right, so that was some basic background, and it's not just about the circus, is that what she's trying to say, is that this is going to be a general, like, any exhibit pertains to wildlife animals. Yeah. This is a continuum of Stacey Gordon explains stories of, like worst case scenarios about what kind of issues have been in the past as well. So she's going to talk a little bit about that, about like some events that have happened in the past in other places.
We talk about public safety with wild and exotic animal shows is even when the shows themselves are very careful, there is always the risk of some sort of escape. All of these stories on the right-hand side, these are just from the past 5 years, just chose a few. Some of them ended okay, some of them ended very tragically. The first one, a camel escape in California, and this one actually wasn't even a circus. This was from a roadside zoo. Camel escaped, bit somebody. Camels can actually be quite vicious despite the fact that they don't look like it. Bit somebody, was finally recaptured and sent back to the roadside zoo, although the local law enforcement did note that several animals had escaped from that particular zoo various times. More dangerous, perhaps, are things like tiger escapes. And this one in Kansas a couple years ago was actually at a circus. This woman walked into the bathroom and walked smack into a tiger. The tiger had gotten loose from his pen, wandered into the bathroom. The trainers sealed off all of the entrances to the bathroom except one, thinking that the tiger would escape out that and they could recapture him, and instead this woman walked in. Luckily, she remained calm, backed out, and was fine. Tiger was recaptured, but that could have ended much worse.
Of course. You could already tell by the tone of her voice that it was going to end up okay, because it didn't. She was already kind of laughing about it, and
that's funny.
Yeah, and of course, moving on. This is one of the representatives of the Shrine, Western Montana Shrine. He's the in charge of part of that section in charge. So the ordinance would place first-time offense like cruelty to animals or negligence to $50,000. Followed by $75,000, and of course it can get as high as $250,000 for their defense within the year, and so on and so forth. Then the council opened the meeting for public comment, and this is Dean Gilmore. He's from the Western Montana Shrine, and he said they've been doing the Shrine Circus for over 65 years without incident, and he has some interesting things to say about these people, given the PowerPoint.
The claims and accusations of PETA and Born Free are not always based on fact, but based on emotion. Some of them are unfounded. There are 5 or 6 different ways to train an elephant, not just all bull hooks. Elephants have been held in captivity for centuries. These pets are loved. The animals are pets to their owners. They're loved and cherished by their owners. They're their pets. The animals are not only their pets, but they're their livelihoods. They have no reason to hurt them. The pets are pampered, bathed, manicured, and fed, and well protected. The animals even get a vacation just like their owners. Circus animals generally are born in captivity and live longer than their counterparts in the wild. We don't feel that this is a Missoula public health and safety issue. This ordinance proposal is a platform for PETA and Born Free to further their own agenda.
Okay, so that's what he had to say about
I don't know
this.
about any of that.
Oh, whatever. Anyways, moving on. This is John Wilkins, and he speaks in the on the circus in terms of not using animals and of course with Gilmore's response as well. He asked if they could do the circus without animals. So this is what they talk about.
The elephants in the circus and that kind of thing.
Right.
Are you looking into the future to try to come up with another idea for the circus without having animals?
We're always looking at different ways to generate income to promote our activities.
Right.
And if the tradition that we've had in Missoula for a real long time is our circus, and that's been one of the best fundraisers that we've ever had. Most of the circuses that we deal with are Shriners themselves. In answer to your question, yes, we have looked.
You are trying to look in that
as we are nationally. Of course.
Even if we don't do nothing now, I think somewhere in the future that's going to be a big issue, and it's going to.
It has impacted us in other states,
right.
Obviously.
Right.
Okay, so. Other states have different laws, other ordinances in other cities. Like some of them completely ban animals just altogether. But of course, moving on to the next little quote, there's another Shriner by the name of Dwayne Selk, and he's been with the Shrine forever. He has the little Shrine hat on, and he talks about tradition. He talks about how important it is with him is his tradition, and yeah, I'll let him basically speak for himself instead. I'm just trying to lead into him, but he talks about some of the old tradition and how he grew up with the Shrine Circus and how it's changed and how it should kind of reflect something, animal wonders to kids. Yeah. And this is Selk.
Lady put up on the board some instances where animals got loose from the circus. But we could probably look back into the Missoulian and find out how many domestic dogs have killed. But we're not talking about those. We're just talking about exotic. So my point is, are we going to take this away from the young generation that they've been seeing for years? And we've not had a problem in Missoula. And I can't see a problem in Missoula. But when these kids leave the circus, we ask them, what do you like the best? With the exception of one time I asked a little girl what and she's seen Santa Claus. But everybody else has said the elephants and the tigers. Now, we have had a domestic cat, which they say you can't train cats. But we did have an act of trained cats. But these are hard to find. We do have acts of dogs, but they're hard to find. And there's a lot of people vying for these circuses. They go out and they bid on them. They bid on them in the hometowns of Florida and of Las Vegas, and that's where we get them. These circuses bid on acts. So again, are we going to take this away from these young kids, that they never get to see an elephant? That they never get to see a lion? They never get to see a tiger? Are we going to take it from them? I don't think it's fair to these kids.
All right, so basically he went on to talk more about this as well. But this discussion will be held in committee until July 22nd in hopes that both parties can make time to get together and discuss the issues at hand. Just a little more communication, maybe even do even go to one of the circuits and do a walkthrough of training and stuff. Like it's always good to know what's going on behind the scenes, because who knows, maybe you never know what's happening on either side. One side I can understand, cruelty to animals and use the animals for profit and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, there's the animals who can't be put back into nature as well. Exactly. How you get these elephants from captivity and that kind of thing. There's always so much shady stuff, kind of like where people get their diamonds and all that stuff. But of course, you can find out more information by logging on to www.ci.missoula.mt.us. You can go to the city of Missoula on a search engine, and you can find the website, and you can find out all these meetings and more on our SIRE.
Yes.
And it's a lot of great meetings, a lot of great stuff. They had a 3-hour meeting about the budget, which I will not get into, of course, because they were talking about certain things about. There was some article in the newspaper saying that they cut a baseline budget in the general fund about $262,000.
Wow.
But of course, they said there's always like a pull and push in different areas. Like when you need money, when you don't need money. But of course, if you want to watch the whole budget committee meeting, it'll be on MCAT all day until next week, until the next budget hearing again.
Yeah.
So of course that concludes my wonderful city council stuff. I think the highlight was the water trial.
I think so
That's
too.
the big news
Yeah.
that's going on and seeing what's going to happen. It's all we're all just waiting on to see what Carlisle's going to say.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't know. Are they probably will appeal. That's the idea, is that they're going to try to appeal, and whether the higher court system or whatnot will be like, I don't know, because the idea, if you knew what happened before the court actually happened, is that they tried to appeal this case to a higher court because they thought Karen Townsend was a little too local and biased with that, and then the higher courts were just like, no, she's good for this court case. So that's kind of like a precursor to kind of see what may happen if they try to appeal, and they'd be like, no. So they have, but there's the order that Judge Karen Townsend did, 64 pages.
Wow.
Court order, and
That's a lot.
chances are they could, if you're really meticulous, you could find it, and they have a lot of high paid lawyers who work with condemnation hearings and all that stuff. Because I looked up, I think it's what's his name, Joe Connor.
Mhm.
He's a guy from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Nice.
And he does this kind of court hearing all the time. He's a huge defense attorney when it comes to water condemnation hearings and all that stuff. Big time lawyer. And he has a whole team and everything.
Does he?
Because if you were at the court hearing, it was like it was a circus. It was quite a little circus without the elephants.
Thank gosh.
A nice segue, but anyways. But that's basically what kind of gives us some background on what's going on with the thing. I don't know what may or may not happen, but it seems like the city of Missoula is very confident that this order will remain in place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think I want to end on a high note, so I'm going to do a little bit of my favorite segment, as I like to call it, or you may know it as...
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Hit it, Asaph. Hallmark or Bullmark? I should have shaved this morning. But anyways, let's talk about the wonderful, wonderful world of Hallmark or Bullmark. And of course, if you don't know what the game is, the game is where I read a synopsis from a Hallmark original movie, or do I? And you have to decide, you guys over there have to decide whether or not it's a real Hallmark movie or I'm just completely making it up and full of it. Are you guys ready?
We stumped you last time, if I recall, Noelle and I.
Yeah.
I stumped you guys?
No, she and I stumped you last time, if I recall.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it was the online thing?
I think so.
No, you
yeah.
got it wrong though.
I don't remember.
I watched that episode. I'm always watching. Always watching. All right, you guys ready? Mm-hmm. Without further ado, here is the first synopsis. When an engaged couple can't agree on anything, the mother of the groom hires a wedding planner and an event planner to help put together the wedding of their dreams. The two planners are as different as night and day, but as the two learn to compromise, they discover opposites do indeed attract, and they can combine and produce incredible results. And this is called Perfect Match. Is this Hallmark or Bullmark?
Hallmark, for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you guys are right. It is a Hallmark original movie.
Yes.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, so here's the next one. Okay, Lisa is a girl from a small country town moving into a big city to learn the ropes to cooking at a world-renowned restaurant that specializes in barbecue. But what she thought she knew about cooking barbecue has been wrong. Or are they? Lisa must master their way of cooking barbecue while still spicing things up a little to keep her heritage alive in her culinary skills. I'm reading line to line. So when they discover she's been altering the ingredients, she's fired right then and there, until the company's star chef unexpectedly quits to start his own restaurant. Lisa is quickly given a second chance when customers demand the special that Lisa whipped up. will Lisa cook for her company or will she cook for herself? And this movie is called A Pinch of Small Town.
That's nice. Will she cook for herself?
Is this a Hallmark or a completely Bullmark
I'm gonna
movie?
do Hallmark too. That sounds like a great Hallmark movie.
What about you, Asa?
I'm gonna agree again.
Well, you guys are wrong.
Oh, you
It
made
is.
that?
I completely made that up.
Nice. Good job, Scott.
Yes.
That's a great Hallmark movie.
But it's not. It's Bullmark. It's completely fake. Face. Okay. Anyways, that's enough fooling around. I want to thank everybody for joining us this
Yes.
morning. Big Sky Pride. We had Devin Carpenter, Eric Hall, and of course Tom.
Insert last name.
Tom Doubt.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Gocksch. Tom Gocksch.
Gocksch.
Yeah, because he was like gotcha. Tom
Gotcha.
Gocksch. Thank you very much, you guys.
Yes, thank you all very much.
And if you want to find out more about Wake Up Missoula, you can log on to our Wix page at wakeupmissoula.wix.com/wakeupmissoula. You can like us on Facebook.
'Cause
You
it's
can like us
awesome.
on Twitter. You can also like our TV station that we air from, Missoula Community Access Television on Twitter, as well as MCAT on Facebook. And go to MCAT.org to find out more information about us and anything that you want.
Yes.
Our summer camps start next week.
Yes,
There is
and there's
still room
in our very first summer camp. So it starts, if you want to come on Monday around at 1
Yeah,
and
you
sign
can
your
just
kid up
walk
and
in.
drop your kid. Drop-ins are welcome for those camps.
Yep.
Our camps are getting full.
Yep,
We still have
yeah.
a couple spaces available, but come check it out. You can also go on mcat.org to find the submission sheet and everything. So I want to say thank you, Noelle, for
Thanks.
joining me this morning
Thanks.
on Wake Up Missoula.
Thanks, Asaph.
And
Thank you.
Asaph, very
Thanks for letting
much.
me promote my book too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, and thanks you guys for tuning in. Don't miss out on all the great Pride events that going on this weekend. And Sunday is summer solstice. It's the longest day of the year, so don't miss out on that either. Yeah. Thanks, and we'll see you Monday.